Hello, this is Tarregor. This video is a Twitch stream that is not edited. Well, actually, it's a re-recording because I botched part of the video. So it's gonna look like a Twitch stream anyway. Welcome to the vision of World of Warcraft Classic Plus. The design direction of my vision of Classic Plus is substantially different from that of retail WoW Circle Shadowlands and private servers for Vanilla Plus and Turtle WoW. This is partially because the sayings affect Vanilla WoW's many problems first, Flash and Polish with our radio second, and add new content third. This is part of a playlist of videos. Check this video's description for a link to the playlist. The document displayed on the picture of WoW Classic Plus, and the document's version number is 1.5.15. All versions of the document are based upon patch 1.12.2 of WoW. If you just want to know about the general design direction of Vision Classic Plus or otherwise looking into this, then watch the introductory video in this playlist or video document yourself and look at the list of major features. So the link to the document is in the channel's About page. That and I do not have a team of people or however working with me to make an actual private server out of this. This is up here design thus far, and I ain't done yet. Note most of the contained settings are pending re-itemization, though I have laid out the groundwork for it. More on that in the previous videos in the item section. See section number 9, Professions, for more information about profession item changes. I prefer capitalizing that. The extra resistance suffixes will be 25% less effective on rings than they were before. This is because in vanilla, they are 1/3 on better per rings per itemization point than these suffix slots or other item slots for some reason. I don't know why. Lunar spheres will never have a fiery wrath, frozen wrath, or shadow wrath as a suffix because that ain't how Loon works. Speaking of that Piggle, while positioning a copy of Nat Piggle's Angler, while positioning a copy of Nat Piggle's Guide to Extreme Angling, will give you a dialogue option to ask him about the Ashbringer. He'll tell you that he fished up something that says that Mograine is in actual answers to the Ashbringer. Fist weapons will no longer grant disarm immunity innately when wielded in the main hand. If you can equip a fist weapon, they can be forcibly unequipped too, and also does not have to balance them around granting disarm immunity fist weapons in general. Torture Retribution will be turned into an offhand throw that's a different, smaller model of some sort, just to prevent you from doing some really weird stuff by not having a weapon type and possibly being used for some sort of exploit. All blue items that come exclusively from Lord Rockor and from Mordor will be labeled as unique items in order to lessen sources of non-competitive income to a very small extent. An item that has bonus armor will have its armor value listed as green text like in the Burning Crusade and onwards. For example, Helmet of Stalwart Defender had green text in its armor field. Off the top of my head, anyway, I might be wrong. Anyway, unless free-for-all loot is enabled, when you are about to max the loot or roll on or otherwise obtain a buy on pickup item while you are in a group and someone else is close enough to loot it, you will have to type confirm, like I have to type delete before you can delete a character, like that, before you are allowed to obtain the item on the receiver's end. If you don't type confirm, then your item will not be looted out, allowing it to attempt to be given to you. Allowing whoever to attempt to give it to you again, or to be given to someone else who loves to rot. This is to prevent mislooting. The Master of the Looter, or whoever, yeah. Now that it's plus spell damage and all types of plus healing and no longer affect non-class spells, buffs and items that grant this stuff will have their descriptions changed to say spells instead of spells and effects. Thunderstrike will keep its weapon enchant, even the temporary ones, if any, after changing into Shadow Strike, and vice versa, in order to remove a very unwarranted inconvenience from the players that get one. This will be implemented in such a manner that Thunderstrike can keep one enchant, while Shadow Strike can keep another potential different enchant, whether or not you switch back and forth between them or however the hell. Similarly for Anathema/Benediction. Using to teach, Benediction/Anathema, or Thunderstrike / Shadow Strikes on these effects will not invoke a regular profession cooldown, and it will be usable although if your professions are on cooldown, and it will not share cooldowns of anything. More profession cooldowns in the eventual video on professions. Dungeon gear will not be updated as in patch 2.3.0 to generally turn most green items, and not all of them, into blue items. It would make the leveling process be too easy. Too easy for my liking, at least. Oasis Snapshots will drop raw long jaw mud snappers instead of the new raw rainbow fin albacore. Yeah, I'll just say that over again. I think I said new for some reason. Oasis Snapjaws will drop raw long jaw mud snappers instead of raw rainbow fin albacore. Excuse me. The latter fish do not exist in those of the Oasis fishing loot tables, while the foreign fish do. Darkmoon cards will no longer drop from mobs in outer Blackrock depths, including mobs that also exist in inner Blackrock depths. Outer Blackrock depths is the part outside of the Shadowforge locks. Inner Blackrock depths is the part behind the parts behind the Shadowforge locks. All non-temporary items that are looted from a non-inventory container, not counting items such as lockboxes or Tarregor's treasure, or NPCs will randomly be found at 70 to 100% durability. This is to help a bit of economic inflation, because it makes sense that loot will not always be found at full durability. Redemption spells will have its wings removed, and you should always run out of that because the wings did not look good in my opinion. The description of these spell resistance penetration set will be changed to say, cause your spells to ignore X of your opponent's magical resistances, instead of decrease the magical resistances of your targets by X, in order to not mislead players. The quest vendors that offer certain items of quest rewards will also be vendors that only have 1 or 2 specific items to sell, in infinite stock goes on as being the irreplaceable quest rewards that they offer, and they will only sell such items if you complete the quests that offer said quest rewards. The following list of items will be purchasable by the players at 500% of the normal price in this manner. By the way, it'll still be BOP. Fireheart / Brutal Harbor, Skull and Painting Doom, Vintage Stopwatch, Fiery Blaze Enchantments, Lupus, Carry on a Stick, Lincoln's Boomerang, Bear of Peasant Color, Prince's Sword, Diamond Flask, Sanctified Orb, Desolate Eye, Desolate Tooth, Dust Patrick, Enigma Water Spirit, Fire Ruby, Without Glacial Spike, Soul Harvester, Abyssal Shard. Abyss Shard. And said items may not be disenchanted. Because I just thought of that just now. I just thought there'd be an enchanting exploit to get a whole lot of fucking shards. Anyway. Made quest rewards that are sold by vendors after you've done the quest for them. In case you lose the item, the unique quest rewards be unable to be DE'd. Is this it? Nope. This is world buff changes. And Abyss Shard. Should a trading card game die and stay dead for a consecutive year, the collector's edition will retroactively allow you to choose from a reward of one of the trading card game small pets if you don't already have one. Design note that the trading card game will even be relevant to this game, which most likely will not be. There will never ever be a hidden RNG manipulation buff that makes it more that you get whenever you get an epic or legendary upgrade from a raid or something, and makes it more quotation marks half-like quotation marks. So you get the item that it's inherently supposed to be. For the rest of the item changes, see section number 4.0%, Rollbust section number 5.0%, other battleground vendor changes in section number 9, professions. And that's all I got for items, including the previous videos on items. Except profession stuff. Thanks for watching.